One Piece, the highly popular manga and anime series, currently still in circulation and being shown on TV, chronicling the adventures of Monkey D. Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates as they travel the seas in search for the legendary One Piece. Although it sounds like a whimsical to think about in a Western sense, in the various adventures of indirectly and directly saving people from corrupt governments and evil pirates, along with any legendary treasure they find on the way. Like most manga and anime franchises, it got adapted into various movies and video games. One of those video game adaptations is a spin-off of the ever-popular Dynasty Warriors series. A beat-em-up combined with wartime strategy, creating one of the fun and video game genres for most of your Asian console gamers, but not gamers from the Americas, traditionally enough. The spin-off, appropriately named Pirate Warriors, spawned two sequels, one with an original story, while the latter follows the manga to the part of Dressrosa, which is currently over in the manga and anime. For this review, I'll be talking about the Pirate Warriors 3, which is the most current entry of the series, starting with the differences in the story. Pirate Warriors 3 follows the manga from when Luffy first met Zoro and Nami, as opposed from the very beginning, in which you could play as Shanks and his crew fighting against Higuma and his bandits in order to save Luffy, thus showing us how Luffy got his signature straw hat from Shanks. The stages are condensed versions of the various sagas of the manga. There are no comical breathers or other arcs being placed before the major ones, in which case there's no battle inside Laboon, at Whiskey Peak, nor at Little Garden. Nor is there a fight between Sanji and Duval. No version of the daily backfights between the Straw Hats and the Foxy Pirates, no Amazon Lily arc, and so on. As there are missing arcs, there are also missing characters, from Princess Fifi not being a playable character to no Lucy or other fighters in the Colosseum during the Dressrosa. But the narration in Legends mode will fill you in on the missing arcs, but not all of it, as you have to read the manga to fill in the missing arcs, or you could watch the anime, which actually takes far longer to finish. So wait till it got a Kai version or something similar so you can keep up with the story until Pirate Warriors 4. I haven't played Dynasty Warriors series for a long time, but the latest Warriors title I played before this was Hyrule Warriors. So the gameplay of that game more or less applies to Pirate Warriors 3, as there's no jump button. Instead, it got replaced with a dash button, so you can instantly run across the battlefields as soon as the dash animation finishes, as opposed to having to walk for a few seconds, then go into a running animation. However, unlike Hyrule Warriors, depending on which version you're playing, you control one person or control a group, while Pirate Warriors 3 only allow you to control one, but like Halo F99 to 2001 and the Marvel vs. series, there's something similar to a striker system, as you can call other characters that have been set for you depending on the episode in Legend, or in Legend and Freelogs, or stages in Dreamlog. Defeat extra enemy soldiers or cause extra damage to strong enemies like commanders and captains and major enemy characters. There's also another function in the striker system in the form of Persona Rush, which your character temporarily powers up and calls on the help of their allies to deal extra damage, and can use a team attack to not only nearly defeat an enemy character, but also force the various strong enemies on the battlefield. It should also be noted that the characters themselves have disadvantages and advantages similar to their manga counterparts. Like Sanji can't attack female characters, Luffy can't easily be damaged from bullets, electricity, and if you use the post-time skip version, poison attacks, the various devil fruit users can't attack well when wet, and so on. The game itself is divided into Legends and Freelogs, which you can play through various battles throughout the Straw Hats adventure with either a set group of characters in Legends mode, or anyone who are not part of the story arc at a time in Freelog and Dreamlog, in which you can choose whichever character to travel around the various islands, representing a wide variety of battle situations, with the goal being conquering all of them and unlocking characters that haven't been unlocked in Legends mode. Although like Samurai Warriors, there are characters who are unique but not available as playable characters due to time constraints, and probably a limited amount of combos and animations development team had to work with due to working with both regular sized and giant characters. However, this can only be remedied with either making a new entry to the series or having Extreme Legends like expansion, which I don't see coming in this content simulation. So yeah, wait for Pirate Warriors 4. Like Hyrule Warriors, The game has its own leveling system for individual characters, in which the characters you use level up by defeating hordes of enemies and having a high score at the end of the battle. However, unlike Hyrule Warriors, it's possible to increase a character's stats by collecting and using special character coins, which are usually collected after the battle is over. The characters can also learn new skills by fulfilling the requirements for each character's skill poster. There's also a separate system in which you level up your character's crew level, which allows for unlocking special features like sound tests and so on. Here's a warning for those planning on getting the PC version, which is the version game footage is taken from. The game has a lot of problems. Usually about the time when you're about halfway through the Legends World, as the game itself will usually set you back in the main menu for no reason unless you restart the game, disable FMV sequences, and probably set the graphics at a lower setting just to get to the next episode. Sometimes the action stops and repeats certain frames rapidly, unless you minimize the game when playing it at full screen. So recording this game is really tough, so I ended up recording cutscenes and events of the latter half and some female gameplay to make up for it. So you're stuck with the console version. Or you can either wait for a fix of PC, which will actually take a long time, or have someone create one through hacking, although it will put the hacker in trouble. Despite the downsides of the PC version, Pirate Warriors 3 is actually fun for the most part, as long as you ignore the repetitive nature of the combat system, and the difficulty isn't that bad. Even if you play the game on hard, you'll still be able to beat the battle because you're using high-level characters. One Piece characters, in my opinion, are a bit overpowered, and they took down whole battalions in manga and anime, so it's a given. So I'm recommending this game to One Piece and Dynasty Warriors fans who enjoyed playing Hyrule Warriors, and want to play a Warriors game with a similar style.